fuck is up and the place to be. Yes. Everything that you have said, yes. Are we in the land of Venus with the Church of La Venus? Yes, Team DLZ. Yes, we are in the land of Lando. Living in the Church of Venus with the Extra Venus. Oh my god. Daddy baby. Oh. Nah, for real, girl. Square business. Says a whole lot. Huh? Does that whole lot? Here. What violence the football players have. What violence the football players have inside of their football bodies. A decent guy. Look at this dude. What dude? Cause yeah, you're a decent fry. And yeah, you're a decent bro. Can't even take a week off after a major accident. I am taking a week off. My paycheck hasn't hit my bank account. I just released information. I just sent an email to HR, and HR gonna figure it out for Dave. Until then, let's get a refill on thine cup with thine coffee. Shall thine we? Yes, thine we shall. For you are my decent guy. Blind. Whoa. Got me from my tummy. I like all tummies. I like digging in all tummies, homes. The thing is when you go, it's full parking. I don't even know if that's a parking spot, but that's what the police do. Park where they can't park. Police trying to play like they're not police, but you're speeding. You're spreading your wings. A songbird, Dave. Yeah, you're a decent guy. People look at me like I'm crazy when I do that kind of stuff, but I do's it for you.
Well, they do breakfast first. And then
Now.
the day shift girl, she's a little breakfast, and then there's cooling, right?
Nah, for real. Gotta show you my jewelry. I'll tell you that shit out. See, when you stretch them girls' hose on, hey, when you stretch them girls' hose on, it don't matter. I'll take a 40-year-old girl, make her feel like she's 16. How would I do? I don't know about you, decent guy, but I'll take a 50-year-old girl, make her feel like she's 21 again. Niggas be hating me and making my pressure rise. You know what I'm talking about? I try to get out, but I can't stop.
The game's all here.
Yes, the gang is all here. A coffee refill, man.
You're good.
Oh, I appreciate it. Hey, damn, you have a great rest of your day. You are a nice guy. What a guy, guys. He said for me to go ahead that I was okay with my coffee refill because yes, he's a decent guy. Want me to show you how the police park? Or he has some kind of fucking device that's in that fucking lowered frame. It's not the police park. It's not even a parking spot. Or a highly intoxicated person. Guys that park legally in the handicap have the handicap insigniac. Okay? We have the handicap insigniac. So that way we may park ourselves indeed into thine handicap insigniac. Yeah, I'm into the older women. I called ahead and paid for your refill. Shut the fuck up. You didn't give me anything. I put my Cash App on and you don't even get on the live when the Cash App's on. When Dave puts his Cash App to show Dave you really care, you know you got Dave beat up. And we're looking for a lawyer so we can make them settle out of court because you know they're gonna settle. And yeah, didn't die. No. We wonder why have you done this?
Well, folks, we are just 39 days away from the most consequential election of our lifetimes. The race is still a dead heat. This media, I'm going to tell you the truth. We will. At Daily Wire Plus, we cut through the lies into the real, unfiltered news every single day. Join us as we fight
the good fight of all fights. Us against them. Them against us.
Federal criminal charges. We don't actually know what exactly is in that indictment. It has been sealed.
Is that really true, though?
Mayor Adams put out a videotaped speech online late on Wednesday night, and he said that all the charges against him would be entirely false and based on lies.
Is that really true?
Investigations into corruption allegations.
Is what really true? Is it really them against us?
In all of that, we're going to have to wait to see exactly what breaks down in terms of these charges.
I don't really think so.
That he should immediately go and stab someone on the subway station platform, and then he will immediately be released by the prosecution.
I think it's all bullshit to get us to fight against one another. And it's so good that even I go, yes.
I honestly don't know who's going to win, and anyone who tells you they know who's going to win is lying to you.
Anyone that tells you who knows who's gonna win, they're a fucking liar, is what the guy says.
What I find throughout this election cycle, on a very personal level, is that my head and my heart are very frequently in conflict. So a few weeks ago, if you had asked me who was going to win, my head would have said Trump and my heart would have said Harris. Because it felt as though the Trump campaign was not doing a good job. It felt as though she had momentum. And then in my head, I was looking at the fact that she was kind of stagnating in the polls and thinking to myself, well, she should be running away with this race. And now I feel like the situation has sort of...
She should be running away with the race?
Kamala Harris has the advantage right now. If you look at the polling data, she does have the advantage in a wide variety of swing states, although it is a minority.
Wow. Listen to this guy.
Estimate of who's favored to win. She has about a 55% chance at winning the Electoral College, which effectively means it's a dead heat. The national polling right now is effectively even.
They got to him.
Polling remains even. She's ahead in Michigan. She's ahead in Wisconsin. And she's running behind in all the rest of the swing states. Nevada is effectively dead even as well. So my head says that Harris is a little bit ahead today. And I know that Democrats are professionals. They're getting out the vote machine, and they're perfectly willing to use every tool at their disposal in order to achieve high levels of ballot harvesting, getting marginal voters.
Ballot harvesting?
I think they're going to college camps, swamp those ballot harvesters.
What?
So my head says that she has tons of money. She's got a disciplined team.
She has tons with money?
Every vote they possibly can.
Can I have a little bit of your tons with money? I would like some gas with money. You look warm.
My heart is telling me.
I said where it isn't dry. And you look like a horse. You know what a heifer is? That's a pig. A pig that don't flash.
So p-hacking is what people will do in the area of science in order to achieve bizarre results in their scientific papers to get them published.
Bro, you know what the fuck, bro? You know what the fuck? That's what the fuck, bro. That's what the fuck. How about that, bro? How about that? Dave, what are you talking about? I don't know. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
Statistically significant result called p-hacking. I think
you know?
Are doing that right now. When every single poll that I see from every single swing state says it's dead heat, I start to think that pollsters are hedging their bets. Because we're not seeing a lot of registered voter polls. Registered voter polls are just universal possible voters. How are they going to vote? You're seeing a lot of likely voter polls. Likely voter polls are reliant on the polling experts to tell you what they think the electorate is going to look like. So what percentage of the electorate is going to be black this year? What percentage of the electorate will be male? What are the turnout models?
Got knocked over because somebody was in a rush.
The problem with that, of course, is that you could theoretically p-hack that system. You could start from the premise that the race is tied, and then you could go into the internals, and you could retrigger who you say is most likely to vote in order to achieve that end. When I see all polls mirroring each other, it starts to make me a little suspicious that something else is going on. So why does that lead me to believe that maybe Trump is ahead right now?
The guy in the truck.
Indicators, symptoms. They may be entirely wrong, but I think that they're saying something. Two indicators. One is a polling statistic, and one is an activity. The polling statistic right now, that Teamsters Union poll shook me. The Teamsters Union did a poll months ago, Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. And in that poll, Joe Biden outpaced Donald Trump 47 to 38. Now, that was an amazing result for Joe Biden. Typically, you would imagine that a Democrat would win that 60-40. The Teamsters, of course, are a union. Private sector unions tend to be more pro-Democrat. Certainly, the leadership is more pro-Democrat. So it's surprising that Trump was even within spitting distance. Then Biden dropped out, and Harris jumped in. And suddenly, the polling of the Teamsters Union shifted 20 points in favor of Donald Trump. Suddenly, he was beating Kamala Harris 60 to 40. It's like a 30-point move by the Teamsters Union. Why is that? Is it because Harris's policies are wildly different from those of Joe Biden? I don't think so. If they...
A vibes election. I think there are a couple of things that have happened that shift the ground in favor of President Trump. Thing number one, there was a taboo until about 6 months ago on people even saying they would vote for Donald Trump. If you lived in a blue area or even a purple area, the mention of Donald Trump's name would send people, your friends and neighbors, into spasms of apoplexy unless you lived in a deep red area. People would get really squeamish. And then something happened. Joe Biden collapsed on the stage. And people started saying out loud, for the first time in years, that they might actually vote for Donald Trump. The taboo was broken. I know this because I'm in a bunch of chats with tech pros, for example. And in tech pro land, that was an unsayable thing. Now it is kind of a sayable thing that you're thinking about voting for President Trump. There were a lot of people in Silicon Valley who were secretly supporting Trump but wouldn't say it. Well, now they're saying it. out loud. Another dirty secret of Silicon Valley is that using the internet without ExpressVPN, not safe. It's like taking a call on a train on speaker for everybody to hear. Most of the time it's totally fine. And then somebody asks you for your credit card number and it's a problem. Every time you go online, your ISP can see every single website you visit. In today's for say, and after the assassination attempt, there were even more people who started to say, yeah, I might vote for him. I might have to vote for him. Can you imagine a situation 5 years ago, if Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook would have done an interview praising the personal courage of Donald Trump? That would have been unthinkable. Truly unthinkable. And yet, that did happen in the aftermath of the assassination attempts. That is a factor that cut in Donald Trump's favor. In other words, that gap between the time that Biden wrapped up the nomination and the time that he dropped out opened a new permission structure that Donald Trump has not had in America since probably 2016. So that's the first thing that happened. The other thing that happened is Kamala Harris jumping into the race and orienting her entire race toward females. Kamala Harris has run the most female-centric campaign of all time. It's not just that she is a female herself, it is that the top issue that she is running on is abortion. The thing that she is running on beyond all others is the idea that abortion is the most critical American right, and that everything else is secondary. And not only that, it's not just the issue of her campaign, it's the way that she has touted her campaign, the people she has surrounded herself with. So when she picked Tim Walz, there was this attempt to turn Tim Walz into the gregarious, kindly coach who's going to bring in men. Hey, that dude wore hunting gear sometimes. Hey, he had a shotgun. And he liked to talk a little gruff. There was only one problem. It didn't read that way to men. When you talk to men about the Harris ticket, the vast majority of men look at that ticket, they look at Doug Emhoff, they look at the people that she surrounds herself with, and they say, this is an anti-male campaign. This campaign is not just pro-female, it is actively anti-male. The males that she surrounds herself with are all betas. There's a bit of the Renfield about all these men. And Tim Walz has to show up on stage and immediately he's like, yes, master, I will eat the flies. He's doing a full-on Renfield routine vis-a-vis Dracula with Kamala Harris. Total subservience. And that total subservience routine does not draw men in. That is why that ridiculous ad from White Dudes for Harris, put out by Beige Rainbow Pack, was so hilarious. Because even that ad, which was attempting to reach out to the men who like to eat animal meat, even that ad did not read that way. It read as apologetic for masculinity. So I think there are a bunch of men, just like the Teamsters Union, I think there are a bunch of men who are not showing up in the polls right now who are going to vote against her. I think that's a reality. And finally, there is a sort of bleeding indicator symptom, and that is Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, flying Vladimir Zelensky in a C-17 to Pennsylvania to tour a munitions factory in a swing state 40 days before an election. What that says to me is that the internal polling in Pennsylvania is not looking good for Democrats. The Democrats are freaking out over Pennsylvania. If they and by the way, the most obvious blown opportunity by a Democrat of my lifetime. All Kamala Harris had to do to shore up that state was pick Josh Shapiro, the popular governor of Pennsylvania. And she didn't do it because she was afraid that he was a Jew. And so if she loses Pennsylvania, that's what that's about. When you bring in Zelensky as an attempt to win over, I assume the Polish vote, because that's literally what she said in the debate with Donald Trump. She said there are 800,000 Polish voters in Pennsylvania, and they care deeply about NATO and Ukraine. First of all, if you think that the 800,000 people of Polish descent in Pennsylvania, their top issue in this election cycle is the position of Donald Trump vis-a-vis NATO, think again. That is not a reality. That is wish casting by the Harris campaign. I think it's also an addiction by the Harris campaign to a peculiar form of identity politics where you can simply group people into a group and then pretend they all have the same priorities.
You all have the same
priorities. The idea that Polish Americans, fourth generation, fifth generation Polish Americans are number one of all things on earth concerned.
Listen to me, I'm
the Ukraine war as opposed to their jobs going away in Pennsylvania. That seems kind of weird to me. So, Kamala Harris, she's had to reintroduce herself. And this, I think, may be the best indicator of all. She knows she has not done enough to properly introduce herself to the American public. That the American public feels disquieted about her. They find her to be enigmatic, empty. They believe there is no there there.
They're there.
And they are right. So yesterday, she did a couple of things. She gave a speech on economics, and then she did an interview with Stephanie Ruhle at MSNBC. Neither was good. So the first thing she did was the speech at the Economic Club of Pittsburgh, where she pretended to be a middle-of-the-road economic pragmatist. That was after her 2019-2020 campaign, where she basically ran as Bernie Sanders. So her new shtick is that she is going to grant tax credits, like a Republican would. And that she's going to give tax cuts, like a Republican would. And that she would make up for all of that by taxing just the rich, which, of course, is untrue. Because you can tax the rich all day long and all night long. It ain't going to pay for your deficit spending. You've been trying it. Folks, Kamala Harris's financial plans make no sense, but yours need to make some sense. The Federal Reserve has now dropped interest rates, so you need to call my friends in American Financing today. I mean, like right now, mortgage rates are now in the fours, so now's a perfect time to consolidate debt and reduce your monthly expenses. Face it, a lot of people have been forced to use credit cards because of the insane prices at the grocery store, power bills, even for childcare. With credit card rates through the roof, that debt will eat you alive. But here's the good news. The mortgage rates dropping now is the perfect time to wipe that debt out. American Financing is helping homeowners just like you to save over $800 a month on average. That is real money back in your pocket. They're even closing some loans in as fast as 10 days. So get this. If you start today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. Not to mention, there are no upfront fees to find out how much you can save. So here's what you need to do. Call American Financing today at 866-721-3300. That's 866-721-3300. Or if you prefer, visit AmericanFinancing.net/Shapiro. NMLS 1823344, NMLS consumerAccess.org. APR rates in 4s, starting at APR 5.672% for well-qualified borrowers. Call 866-721-3300 for details about credit costs and terms. The reality in the United States is the top quintile of taxpayers in this country pay literally all net taxes. Not some, all. Okay, net taxes means the amount of tax dollars you are paying in versus the number of tax dollars you are getting out. The top quintile pay all net taxes in the United States. So she tried to claim that she was a capitalist, that she believes in free and fair markets. The problem, of course, is that she has no definition for fair markets. The New York Times led, quote, Vice President Kamala Harris wants voters to know that she is not a socialist. That was the clear unspoken theme of Ms. Harris's nearly 40-minute economic policy speech in Pittsburgh on Wednesday. It was why she paraphrased Warren Buffett, cited a survey of top economists, and praised entrepreneurs in language that echoed Republican Senator Mitt Romney's presidential run a dozen years ago. The problem is this is not going to work. It is not going to work because if she's attempting to out-capitalist Donald Trump, good luck with that. In the same way that it is a mistake for Republicans to try to out-welfare Democrats. It is a mistake for Democrats to try to out-capitalism Republicans. But she understands she has to tamp down all of the talk about the fact that her administration has been awful for the economy and the fact that the principles she has spent her entire career espousing up until this very moment are really anti-capitalist. She doesn't have to be a full Marxist socialist to be anti-capitalist.